Veterans of the Somalia mission who say they were permanently damaged by the anti-malarial drug they were forced to take during that deployment have waited too long to proceed with a class action suit launched nearly 18 years ago, the federal government says. Justice Department lawyer Elizabeth Richards told the Ontario Superior Court on Friday that the lawyers for Ronald Smith, a former member of the now disbanded Airborne Regiment who is the lead plaintiff in the case, have provided no reasonable explanation for the amount of time it has taken to move the case forward. It would be impossible at this point, Ms. Richards told Justice Robbie Gordon, for the government to call witnesses who could provide accurate testimony around the way mefloquine was dispensed to the troops who took part in the Somalia mission of the early 1990s. That means, she said, there cannot be a fair trial. Justice Gordon is being asked to decide whether the case can be certified as a class action so many years after the first documents were filed in the court. Story continues below advertisement. Ms. Richards said the judge must balance the potential unfairness of the delay, which both she and Wayne Stickland, the lawyer for Mr. Smith, agree has been inordinate, and the right of Mr. Smith and the other veterans to obtain justice for the harms they say they have suffered. Mr. Stickland told the court that his office has been contacted by hundreds of Somalia veterans who say mefloquine left them with long-term mental problems. If this case is thrown out, he said, another plaintiff will quickly step forward to launch an identical suit. But Ms. Richards said that would run contrary to the principle that defendants are entitled to some finality of justice. We say nobody can bring a subsequent class action, if Mr. Smith's case is not permitted to proceed, she told the court. Once it's been dismissed for delays, it's been dismissed. That appeared to concern Justice Gordon, who asked both sides to return after Christmas to present their arguments about whether this class action is the end of the line for Somalia veterans who want to sue for the damages that they blame on mefloquine. According to Mr. Smith's statement of claim, the drug he was required to take in Somalia as part of a poorly executed clinical trial left him with a host of residual mental health issues, including depression, aggressive behavior, poor concentration, social isolation and suicidal thoughts. He says his charter rights were breached and is alleging battery and negligence. His suit, which was launched in 2000, sat nearly dormant before being taken over and restarted last year by Mr. Stickland. In explaining the delay to Justice Gordon, Mr. Stickland said there had been a long debate between lawyers about who was best positioned to represent Mr. Smith in court. Story continues below advertisement. Story continues below advertisement. In addition, he said, the case was hampered by Mr. Smith's own mental state, a lack of scientific evidence in the early years to link mefloquine to the types of symptoms suffered by the veterans, and a lack of expert witnesses. That evidence has now become more solid and he has secured an expert witness, Mr.